The all-new Renault Scenic E-Tech, which signifies fully electric, we've already introduced to you in a classic yet very detailed review, and it includes a comprehensive, extensive test drive. And now we want to take this new electric car on the highway and see how much it consumes at 100, 120, 140, 160 km/h. And how quickly can I recharge it, because many of you want to take it on long trips, ensuring your device doesn't run out of power. Before we get started, check if you're part of the Intro to Electric community. If not, we appreciate your subscription. And now let's start with the consumption drive and charging check of the Renault Scenic E-Tech. We set off here with the Renault to our highway test track on the A20 for an extensive evaluation of the performance. We always drive north towards Stralsund, Greifswald. Yeah, today we have lovely weather, 25 degrees, with a few scattered clouds gently drifting high up in the bright sky. We have 20-inch tires here on the Scenic, Stefan.
Yes, 20 inches, 235s.
Those are some pretty big tires. And we have this SUV build here, which might not always be the best for achieving the lowest possible fuel consumption. Yeah, we definitely want to find that out together with you. By driving nice stints, always 20 kilometers with an average of 100, 120, 140, 160 km/h. We want to do the charging check at the HPC fast charger with you to see how quickly it charges from 10 to 80%. We want to determine the driving comfort, we want to check out all the extras, assistance systems and so on here in the Scenic. So I think this will be an exciting video. What Renault is presenting us here with the Scenic E-Tech. We have arrived at our test track on the A20 highway. First, we are going to conduct tests. Reset the onboard computer to cover the next 20 kilometers, and then also check the consumption display to see over 20 kilometers if we consistently drive at 100 km/h, where the Renault Scenic stands in terms of fuel efficiency and overall performance. Stefan, do you have any tips? Wow.
So 18, 19, I'd guess.
Let's wait and see. It's time again.
Yes, we secured the initial 20.
Exactly, and this right here is what the odometer actually displays, 20.3 kilometers. And then we have here in the menu, then since reset 17.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's quite a good value, isn't it?
That's fine, yes.
That's true. So I have to say, for the structure and the weight, that's a top value. We are about to swiftly accelerate up to 120 km/h. Unfortunately, the eco mode doesn't permit that. Switch to comfort mode and reset the computer to analyze consumption over 20 kilometers at 120 km/h. This data on performance helps identify habits for efficient fuel use. Optimizing performance and cost efficiency, understanding results ensures better fuel management and savings. We want to have an in-depth conversation with you about the various assistance systems available. By the way, the vehicle does indeed have the adaptive cruise control on board. It was just deactivated for the moment. I need to correct myself here. Regarding the review and the test drive video, I'm sorry. That was also my fault, because I should have checked beforehand if it might be activated or deactivated. Yes, otherwise it nicely keeps the middle of the lane. You can see it here. It also takes the curves smoothly. You also have in the driver display, I think, a clear overview of the vehicles around you, which enhances your awareness and safety. And that's of course an incredible story we are talking about here. So in the semi-autonomous support then on long distance trips, that you just drive continuously at 120 like we do now, and then just get a bit of additional support to make the drive less tiring for everyone involved. Yes, it's starting to rain a little bit here now, but I don't think this light rain will immediately affect our current consumption values, even if it continues for a short while. You naturally have blind spot warning, lane keeping assistant, distance regulating cruise control, all included with this model as part of the package. 4 unique equipment packages, respectively optional for a charge, are available and tailored to meet your needs. Renault is nearly on par with our German premium automobile manufacturers, at least in my opinion, I think. Yes, exactly. And it is developing very well here, especially with the advanced Google Automotive System, which we will also comprehensively show you later during our detailed presentation.
And the subsequent 20 in the bag.
Yes, 22 kilometers, just about to switch to 20.3. And we have a measured average consumption rate of 23.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's fine, right?
Sure, that's okay. Yes, I'd certainly say that.
We're rapidly accelerating right up to a thrilling 140 km/h and then resetting the advanced onboard computer system together with you as we drive. So we want to find out over the next 20 kilometers the Scenic E-Tech's consumption when driving at 140 km/h. And there's the next important value for you. We've driven a total distance of 20.7 kilometers and have a consumption of around 27.6. At this moment, you can see how it is gradually rising.
Now it's going up, and I think at the next level, we'll crack the journey.
Yes, that has also been our experience with such. Cross utility vehicles with SUVs, that this exponential growth is much more pronounced than with sedans.
Absolutely, yes.
And that is also my general reluctance, especially now considering how much more mature and advanced our current age appears to have become. I'll be 49 soon, though you wouldn't guess it by looking at me.
Absolutely not, my very sweet little youngster.
Well, you know, with getting in and out. That's why I find this active ride suspension brilliant, with getting in and out of vehicles. But with an SUV, you always have a nice and elevated view. You sit a little higher up, you kind of look over the traffic. Well, I get why people find it quite cool, but because I'm, frankly speaking, a bad driver, I mean, my butt has to sit on the ground, which makes it uncomfortable. Not that he thinks something else now. I just can't quite get used to sitting on this stool yet. Once you get into the dynamic here, I truly and honestly don't know the outcome. I mean, he's doing it remarkably well, and Renault builds really excellent chassis too. But I mean, so sporty, so incredibly tight, such a great sedan, probably.
Yeah, it's different than just sitting here in a crossover, missing unique experiences.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty awesome car. We set the adaptive cruise control to 160 km/h and want to reset the values here to see what 160 km/h consumes over the next 20 kilometers. We said we'd talk about Google Automotive. It's a great story because you can see how fast the processors handle, for example, Google Maps and other apps seamlessly, providing essential functionality for modern driving experiences. Process accordingly. Paired with a good voice control, we want to test it by saying, "Hey Google, take us to Munich to the Viktualienmarkt." And that's just a super great quick story. You can see how impressively fast he set up the entire route planning for the 827 kilometers right here within hours. Somehow the car isn't perfectly connected to the internet yet, so he's not doing the charging plan here now apparently because the Google Automotive system not only provides route planning but also a charging plan where you can, for example, connect your favorite card. And there we did it once more, successfully completing the 20 kilometers, now reaching 20.4 kilometers with a consumption of 34.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. This demonstrates our consistent performance. Yeah, we already figured he'd zip past 30, right? Yeah.
Well, that was to be expected.
But in the end, we have to say we've also seen several types of vehicles use far more at that speed than others. Oh, indeed. So if I think about our Swedish friends, they had a 4 there. Yes, they seem quite pleased about it too.
That was clearly more, no doubt now.
So I have to say, the Renault Scenic, for its body shape, for its battery size and everything, is actually quite okay for an SUV in terms of consumption, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Maybe it should be checked again in winter when things like the heat pump, heating and such are running to see how it feels then. But now in the summer, under ideal conditions, 23, 24, 25 degrees, that's fine. We want to drive at top speed with you. According to the factory specifications, that's 170 km/h here with the big battery and big motor, and 150 km/h with the smaller variant with 170 horsepower and the 60 kWh battery. I think it's fine, because with such an SUV, 220 horsepower, you should drive faster than 175.
Actually, no, that's not what it's really intended for.
Although we always say around 200 would be a benchmark in Germany.
Yeah, he can do it. No question about it at all. It's limited in performance, and that's the truth.
It's electronically limited, yes. By the way, what I find cool is that here, The adaptive cruise control works up to 170 km/h. Oh.
That's good, so it doesn't stop at 130.
No, the steering assistant stops at some point, the symbol here with the lane keeping assistant. I also think it's a bit of a shame. We can test when he'll come back sometime. At 150, he's back, see? Yeah, look. I mean, that's enough, right? Isn't 151 and 60 pretty much just our normal cruising speed, though?
Indeed, that's the pleasant cruising speed.
Well, if you're commuting between NRW, Dortmund and Cologne.
Exactly like that.
We would really like to try out the adaptive cruise control system with you. And he knows that 120 is coming. That's nice and predictive. He also knows that 100 is coming and starts slowing down to 100 at the sign. Well, I really do have to say thumbs up from me. Sincerely sorry about that I unfortunately missed noting that in the review that it wasn't activated. Because that is just on the level of BMW, Mercedes and the Volkswagen Group.
Ja, das ist wirklich sehr gut.
Well, I'm not entirely sure about the Megane E-Tech. If it could do that, I'm really uncertain. Feel free to comment. So I feel Renault is closing the gap with our German colleagues more and more, continuously improving, innovating, which is impacting their market position.
Yeah, there isn't much space remaining.
Now let's see how it behaves. We had set it to 150 kph. Speed limit ends up ahead. So let's find out if it goes back to the speed of 150 miles per hour once again. Or if he says, I'll follow the recommended speed or I'll stick to 100. So he should have seen the speed sign by now. Going the right speed? Okay, right? Yes.
That's fine.
I mean, it would be nice if he had sped up to my driving speed again now. If I went 150 before, I'd still want to go 150 afterwards. Yes.
Exactly.
But we don't want to act like know-it-alls here. Maybe as a small suggestion for the next model update or the next over-the-air update. Harman Kardon sound system. Nice and clear, right? Yes?
Clear and crisp sound, surely.
I'm curious to see how similar the bass sounds are, because in the review we noticed with another song that they weren't very convincing, right?
I must say, I expected a bit more than that too.
Yeah, and right now at 150, you also have to talk about the outside noises, like wind noise.
Ja, richtig.
Especially with the big side mirrors, right? Works, right? Yeah. They're good. We have already successfully configured the charging station in the navigation system. We actually need to drain the battery a bit more to give the car a fighting chance, to precondition if absolutely necessary. Yes, Stefan, let's talk about travel comfort here on the highway with the Scenic E-Tech. What's your feeling about the experience and whether it's suitable for long road trips?
My sensor says I'm sitting quite comfortably. Really, I like the comfy seats. It's nice, I have good side support, good thigh support. The suspension is nicely firm yet comfortable, so it handles bumps well, and it really does an exceptionally good job. You're not getting messed around at all here. Yeah, I think I can definitely live with that.
So you're saying we've already got this type of long-distance comfort where you can simply head off on a holiday trip to Italy or wherever? Yeah.
Definitely.
I can only share that opinion. Sure, a few bumps, transverse joints. He sometimes pushes it right into the seat, but we want to have firm yet comfortable suspensions here in Europe and not like in the old days of yore, with carriages where we used to sway around so much. Yes, it wobbles. I definitely don't want to be swerving in my lane at 170, especially with other cars overtaking us at even higher speeds. Then we somehow believe we have an issue at hand. Maybe he could become a bit more consistent. That's our perception. But otherwise, it's an all-around highly effective suspension, which is of course also aided by the large wheelbase at 4.47 meters in length, because it doesn't hit every bump or hump in the road so hard, thereby providing a smoother ride. We are approaching the Midtjylland rest stop. That's our favorite destination with the Ionity fast charger, and we've been doing some pretty intense hypermiling like so. American super drivers tested that with 85, yeah, super. When a truck overtakes on the left, yeah, it's also a nice experience. We are now arriving with 8%. Actually, we wanted to arrive with 10%, but yeah, everything new makes the Julian. We have arrived at the charging station and have 8%. Stefan, I guess I can't really see anything, but it goes up nicely here to over $120 right away. 150 should be the maximum peak. And yes, the relevant magazines and the factory specification then report up to 37 minutes from 10 to 80%. Well, we actually don't have that much time left in 2024, especially considering that even the Volkswagen Group manages to get their ID variants loaded in under 30 minutes. Of course, we would ideally also really wish for exactly the same with Renault, but we don't want to jump the gun on this. Let's just wait and see how it turns out. Yeah, for charging, we use InCharge because of their free kilometers, which are useful. That means you can find InCharge online or as an app, use affiliate earnings, rate charging stations, get free miles, or unlock challenges, giving you more opportunities to save on the road. We have managed to get charged for over 35,000 kilometers, and we did so at no additional cost whatsoever. That's great. If you're interested in Uncharged, yet don't know it, feel free to check out the description. He just had 145 briefly. We're now at 16% after 3 minutes. That goes smoothly, but he's back to 128 kWh again. Well, I don't even know if it can actually hit 150. I mean, probably if that's the factory specification, it should somehow, somewhere be able to achieve that.
I hope so.
In just 10 minutes have passed. We're currently at 33% charged, which equates to 22.5 kilowatts, and it's fiddling around with 131 kilowatt once again. So it's a constant up and down. If you follow me, Stefan, then we can use the loading time to perhaps tell our viewers, in case they haven't yet seen the review and the detailed driving report, about some of the key highlights. Showing the Scenic E-Tech from the outside again. Yeah, nice front, very modern design and sleek overall look. With LED headlights featuring high and low beam functions. Unfortunately, no matrix option at the moment, which we would have liked for those who likely drive a lot at night, to have maximum illumination without blinding oncoming traffic. Yes, charging port on the passenger side. We have it in the Esprit Alpine trim, which also means nice sporty 20-inch rims with 2.35 tires mounted on them. And yes, we have it in Dolomite Grey Metallic combined with a black pearl metallic roof. That means a sophisticated and sleek two-tone paint job, I have to say. It looks very, very good, very impressive, and stands out. Looks very high quality. We also have electrically retractable door handles to boost efficiency a bit. So these are all great stories, and actually from the look of it, they have a bit of a trick making it appear like it drops off coupe style, but in reality it goes pretty much straight back. And you saw that too. In the review you could see there was plenty of space, even in the back seats, especially for people who are maybe 1.85 meters or taller like me. Half locks are a must as always, rear spoiler too, looks performance oriented. I just really wish the rear wiper was perhaps integrated into the rear spoiler more seamlessly. And otherwise, we also have striking LED taillights here on the Scenic E-Tech, which beautifully document the stylish and modern look from the front to the rear of this impressive vehicle. A key highlight is that, like the Skoda Enyaq next to us, you also get 545 liters of trunk space. The Enyaq even has 580, but what I'm missing, it goes deep here, is a double loading floor, because I've shown you this in the review. When you fold down the seats to increase the volume to 1600 liters, then you end up with a hump which could obviously be nicely hidden with a double cargo floor, especially considering that the Scenic unfortunately doesn't have a frunk where you can store your charging cable. Stowing is possible, roof load is also an option, 80 kilos, optional trailer hitch with braked trailer load of 1.1 tons or 80 kilograms tongue load for fans of well-maintained bike rack transport, right? 50% after 18 minutes, 38 kilowatt hours recharged, but now it's also dropped below 100 kilowatt. It's now fiddling around with 94 kilowatt. Well, I still don't know where this is heading. Let's just keep being surprised by what the Renault Scenic E-Tech offers on this exciting journey. 80% in 31 minutes. We're hovering around 88, 89 kilowatts here, and we've added a good 58 kilowatt hours. I'm pretty sure we're now likely approaching the middle of those long 30 minutes, right?
Well, as promised.
8 to 78% in 37 minutes. The charger still around 65 kilobars. We charged a good 65 kilowatts. Feel free to write in the comments and tell us how you see it. My personal opinion is even the Volkswagen Group has managed, even if the battery is a bit smaller, to charge from 10 to 80% in under 30 minutes. Let's head over to the Korean section with the Kia EV6 Hyundai Ioniq 5, which additionally function within that price range. In fact, we're discussing roughly 18 minutes here. So I would just wish that Renault could improve catch up because I think that's not really state of the art at the moment. Attention, 80% in 39 minutes, 67.4 kilowatt hours recharged. He's currently fiddling around with 59.60 kWh. Yeah, I would say let's release the Scenic E-Tech and ourselves, of course, by pushing stop here. I can't get over it because look at the incredible resolution of this backup camera. From 2024, it's simply unbelievable, isn't it? You really have to see this to believe it, right?
480p, right? Yes. Or do you maybe have a cover over it, so you never know?
I don't know, but that's not normal, is it? No.
It really doesn't look nice.
My individual preference when it comes to navigation is using vertical displays. Many people say, you know, they need to be horizontal so we can have entertainment functions, like maybe watching a video electrically during a charging break. There, of course, horizontal is much, much better than vertical. But in the overview, it's not bad at all. Now let's conclude with the Renault Scenic E-Tech as the Esprit Alpine Long Range, featuring 220 horsepower and an 87 kWh battery, providing efficiency, power, and smooth driving. And I'm feeling slightly torn. I think the efficiency values appear okay to me. Not particularly thrilling or extraordinarily captivating or shocking.
No, but they are absolutely within the bounds.
At the very least, what the usual competition generally does, maybe excluding Tesla a little bit, yes.
At the moment, definitely.
The suspension excited me. It was impressive for that class of vehicle.
Nice snooze, rides smoothly over the waves, does well too.
The seats are good and Google Automotive is indeed very, very good. Especially if you need comprehensive route guidance with detailed charging planning. And otherwise, there's a card-on sound system, 1,000 euros extra, and you get, I think, a great system? Yes.
In general, I find such spaciousness great, also in the back, also with the nice center armrest. That was a dream for us. 1,000.
Honestly, the only significant drawback is definitely the loading performance. Yep, it really stands out.
Was indeed a bit too much. I'd say about 7 or possibly even 8 minutes over the average, where we're currently at around 30 minutes. That's already quite a significant amount.
If that doesn't bother you, it might be the perfect compromise.
Works too.
What truly excites me though is that in this unique combination, it can charge at a powerful 22 kWh AC rate. That's clearly really, really great, especially for those who often charge at home or at the streetlight or when they're out shopping. That's very cool as it provides a lot of convenience and ensures a charged battery. When you're fully charged from empty in just over 4 hours. Yeah.
Definitely. I really have to say, having a 22 kilowatt onboard charger is impressive. It boosts the vehicle's charging.
And that certainly gives him, I think, an edge over many of his competitors in the industry. Why? Because I usually charge the least and mostly quickly, as I only do that on the 1, 2, 3 long trips per year. Otherwise, I mainly charge with alternating current AC, and there it naturally delivers its full 22 kilowatt of power. So maybe it's even for those who charge much more often at home even. An awesome combination. I think so too. Feel free to write in the comments how you see it. Otherwise, we can only recommend that you check out the new Scenic E-Tech at your local Renault dealer. Take a test drive, maybe get a quote too, because our test model comes with a gross list price of over 56,000 euros. But of course, you have to consider this in relation to leasing and financing conditions, as these can significantly affect the overall cost. So at our Renault partner here, namely the Renault dealership Pia Jowiak in Neubrandenburg, you will find experienced staff. We're back at the Renault dealership Pia Jowiak with the Scenic E-Tech, and unfortunately we have to say goodbye. The car has been reliable, but it's time to part ways again. I had a lot of fun, and I sincerely hope, of course, that we might be able to improve the loading speed a bit at some point in the near future. I hope that you all really enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Please check again if you are part of the electric vehicle community. If not, we would be happy if you subscribe. And then you certainly will not miss out on the absolute latest electric cars in the future. You, Stefan?
Well,
I must say Renault does this quite nicely. With this Dolomite Grey here, there's a nice mineral content in it, metallic. And then here with this black pearl metallic in this two-tone design, black side mirror, see? Oh, look here at the quality of the plastic. Everything kind of, once more I have to say, you can make plastic, showing its incredible versatility and applications.
And do it properly.